So first off, before we get into these details, I want to let you know that actually Black Panther 3 is actually set to start pre-production as of later within, I believe, this year. And again, we are moving very, very fast with this movie. And that's one thing that I wanted to mention according to this right here. And yes, and then the other thing is the stuff that actually, the things that we're going to see in this movie in this next clip. Okay, so I'm going to read this info off to you all. So it says here, new reported details on Black Panther 3. And again, there's three things. It says, number one, the director himself, Ryan Coogler, wants to include mutants and supernatural connections to the ancestral plane, which also I'm actually really excited about that, because I actually did hear as a rumor, and again, take this with every kind of grain of salt, we don't know, that Storm, again, which makes sense, mutants, makes sense, would play very heavily into this story, which makes a lot of sense. And then, with the supernatural connections to the ancestral plane, I don't know what that is per se, but if they are putting connections to the supernatural side to it, a story that I'm possibly thinking out loud about it. It's mainly the quote-unquote way of saying one of my personal favorite Black Panther stories, and I have not read it yet. But I'm looking to get it, and I'm pretty sure by looking at this news on these details, it looks like that it's pointing to Black Panther, A New King Rises, which I love that. So, anyways, the next thing is it's going to feature a coming of age story with heavy emphasis on legacy and what it means for T'Challa to inherit the title of Black Panther, which I kind of like that. Also, finally, it says here that there has been talks about making Nakia not one, T'Challa 2, to be the Black Panther to inherit the throne. So, like I said before, everything that has been led into this film, by just looking at all this news, and the fact how fast the production is going for this movie, is because so that way Black Panther's next film will be the very beginning of Phase 7, which is going to be very likely. And also, this is not your average typical Black Panther, because it sounds like that it's not just going to be a coming of age based story, but also it's going to be also to making it kind of interesting, since the director wants supernatural things to happen, and Moon Knight into this story, which would make so much sense and be a huge surprise for all of us, seeing the fan casted one that everybody wants That's Oliver Jackson Cohen in the role of Mark Spector in Moon Knight. Not Stephen Grant, not anybody else. Just and only Mark Spector as Moon Knight. You tried doing that already with the Moon Knight show that came out in 2022. And I did like what they did with that. But still, Mark Spector is the prime version of all of these versions of just the character alone. And so this would make sense because it's that kind of story that would bring people together in a very interesting way. And it's going to definitely be like the first Superman if this was like DC. Like, he already established characters already, all thanks to the idea of Creature Commandos being the one project that came before, which was not really starting the chapter. Starting the chapter, but starting the DCU off with that, it would just make sense. So, also, I want to know what they're going to do with the other stories in the phase, anyways, on the side of Black Panther. So I'm very excited about this stuff, and I hope you were all too.